The Galactic Assembly had never been so united before. 1,000 worlds, hundreds of empires, and uncounted species, each with their own history, pride, and grievances, finally found one point of agreement: humanity. The vote came after years of heated debate. Every counselor, admiral, and emperor claimed that humans were dangerous, too unpredictable to be allowed freedom among the stars. Their rise from a single cradle world to an interstellar presence had happened far too fast. Their colonies expanded in places others had abandoned. Their science advanced without permission or shared regulation. When the final vote was tallied, the decision was absolute. Every species, from the towering Tarlans to the soft-voiced Ithrians, raised their emblem in favor of enslaving Earth. Humanity was to be subdued, their worlds occupied, and their technology seized for the so-called safety of the galaxy. The declaration was signed by all. A fleet was assembled. It was the largest armada the stars had ever seen. 5,000 ships from 100 civilizations, moving toward the small blue world that had dared to challenge their sense of control. At first, humanity did not answer the demands of surrender. Earth signals went silent. The fleets that had patrolled human borders vanished. For a while, the galaxy thought the humans had simply accepted their fate. Then the invasion began. The first fleet entered the Sol system, expecting resistance. Instead, they found silence. The outer planets were deserted. Jupiter's moons, once alive with mining colonies, were dark and still. The alien commanders laughed. They thought humanity had fled. They moved closer. The moment the fleet crossed Mars orbit, every ship's sensors failed at once. Gravity twisted. Time pulsed strangely. And then light. A single beam from Earth, not a weapon but a signal, shot into the void. The message was short. 3 words translated through every system, every ship, every mind. You voted wrong. What followed was not a battle. It was revelation. From behind the shadow of the sun, shapes emerged. Ships unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. They bore no flags, no alliance markings, no codes. Just silent hulls, black and cold, moving with precision that defied known physics. The galactic fleet opened fire first. Plasma lances, antimatter shells, ion storms. Every weapon known to the stars filled the void. The human ships did not move. Their shields shimmered like glass. Not a single shot broke through. Then, with a calmness that felt almost merciful, the human vessels answered. It was over in seconds. The energy released from a single human salvo erased half the invading fleet. The rest fled in panic. Communications shattered. The survivors tried to retreat through subspace, but their drives failed. Something was jamming them. Something vast, something unseen. Earth spoke again. The voice was neither angry nor cruel. It was cold, measured, and filled with the quiet certainty of power long restrained. Your vote has been received. Your verdict is noted. Now you will witness ours. For the first time in galactic memory, the Assembly's capital world received a transmission from Sol that bypassed all encryption. Every delegate, every ruler, every citizen saw the feed. The image showed Earth, no longer the peaceful cradle they remembered. Above it hung a lattice of stations glowing with blue energy, encircling the planet like a halo. Fleets of ships stretched from orbit to the moon, each one humming with strange light. Humanity had not been hiding. They had been preparing. When they had first entered the galactic community, they learned fast. They traded technology, shared knowledge, and smiled politely. But behind every treaty, every exchange, they had recorded, copied, and improved. The galaxy's combined science was nothing more than raw material to them. Now, those who voted for humanity's enslavement realized what they had created. The second wave of fleets tried to regroup, calling for peace talks. They offered reparations, apologies, promises of cooperation. Earth did not reply. Instead, human fleets spread outward. Not in anger, but in demonstration. The world of Tarlos, the first to propose the vote, was silenced within an hour. No bombardment, no bloodshed. Every system on the planet simply stopped. Machines froze, communication ceased, power died. When ships were sent to investigate, they found the inhabitants alive but motionless. They stood like statues, breathing yet unresponsive. The message was clear. Humanity could end life without ending lives. The galaxy trembled. The second example was gentler. On the crystalline world of Marath, the humans appeared in orbit and sent a single transmission. Observe and understand. Then the oceans of Mirath turned mirror smooth. The stars reflected perfectly, and the entire planet resonated with a low hum that shook every soul who heard it. When the light faded, every Mirathan found their minds filled with human history. Every war, every loss, every triumph. They wept for days. It was then the Galactic Assembly realized that humanity did not seek vengeance. They sought acknowledgement, respect, justice, not conquest. Still, there were those who resisted. The Ren Dominion declared that humanity was an aberration to be purged. They gathered their fleets and launched an assault on a human colony near the edge of known space. That colony was called Avalon. The Dominion's armada arrived with fire and fury. Their commanders broadcast proud words about cleansing the stars of human arrogance. But as they entered orbit, they saw the surface of Avalon glittering faintly. The cities below were gone, replaced by massive circular structures pulsing with light. Those were not cities. They were reactors. When the first Dominion missile hit, Avalon vanished in a flash brighter than a star. Every ship within 100 million kilometers was vaporized. The shockwave reached nearby systems, and for weeks afterward, the light of Avalon's sacrifice burned across the void. Humanity's response was immediate. From the silent edges of known space, human fleets emerged like ghosts. They moved without signatures, without heat, without time delay. The Dominion's homeworld was surrounded before their sensors even noticed. Then Earth's voice came again. You voted for enslavement. You will learn what it means to be helpless. But humanity did not destroy the Dominion. They did something far worse. They locked every stargate, sealed every transport route, and left the Dominion alone, cut off from the galaxy, unable to trade or flee. Their own worlds turned against them as their supplies dwindled. Within a decade, the Dominion was begging for mercy. The Assembly, once confident and proud, now met in silence. Gone were the speeches of domination and control. Every delegate feared the same thing, that Earth might turn its gaze toward them next. Then one day, Earth sent an invitation. Representatives of all species were summoned to a neutral world. The place was barren, a small moon orbiting a gas giant. When the delegates arrived, they found no guards, no weapons, no soldiers. Only a single figure waited for them. A human dressed in plain gray, standing on the dusty surface with a calm expression. He spoke softly, but his voice carried through every communicator, every mind. You voted for our enslavement. You believed we were weak, dangerous, unpredictable. You feared us because we learned too fast. You envied us because we dreamed too far. You tried to cage us. Now you will listen. He gestured to the horizon. Suddenly the entire sky filled with light. Holograms bloomed, showing the galaxy in full. Lines traced from world to world, from empire to empire, showing the history of every war, every enslavement, every oppression carried out in the name of order. For ages, the human said, you have enslaved your own. You have justified cruelty as balance, hierarchy as necessity. You thought yourselves gods of the stars. But gods you are not. You are children, still playing with the fire of creation. And when you voted to enslave us, you revealed what you truly feared. Not our strength, not our weapons, but our mirror. Because we show you what you could be, if you stopped crawling in the dust. The holograms faded, then the human smiled. We are not here to destroy you. We are here to end the age of domination. From this day, no species shall enslave another. No world shall rule by decree of fear. You will join in equality, or you will face solitude. The delegates trembled. Some cried. Others knelt. None dared to argue. Thus began the Accord of Soul. It was not signed with ink or blood, but with silence, the silence of surrender and awe. The assembly disbanded. The empires that had voted for Earth's enslavement dissolved their chains, and humanity, once condemned to servitude, became the unseen guardian of peace. Centuries passed. The story of that vote became legend. Children across 1,000 worlds learned the tale of how arrogance met its reflection and fell to its knees. But deep within the archives of Earth, hidden in vaults no outsider had ever entered, a record remained. It showed the day before the invasion, the day the galactic fleet approached Sol. On that day, humanity had debated whether to fight or to flee. The vote had been split. Half wanted peace, half wanted retribution. In the end, they chose neither. They chose preparation. Humanity had discovered something long before contact with the galaxy. a technology so powerful that even they feared it. They called it the resonance field, a manipulation of energy and consciousness that allowed control over matter and thought alike. It was the secret that made their ships invincible, their minds united, and their enemies helpless. They had never used it until the galaxy forced their hand. Now, the resonance slept again, sealed beneath the surface of the moon. Guarded by silence and time, humanity returned to their quiet watch.